transfer talk, Barca's six-man shortlist includes Sancho, Havertz. Top story, Barca Sancho, Martial, Jorginho, Havertz, De Ligt, Williams. Barcelona's financial situation has resulted in the club largely focusing on free agents, loans and talented players who are no longer in favor at their current teams. Mundo Deportivo have indicated that this will continue to be the case and offered a list of players the Blaugrana are considering ahead of the summer transfer window. The first player on that list is Manchester United winger Jadon Sancho. The England international has not played since August 26 amid well-documented issues with manager Erik ten Hag, which have resulted in him no longer taking part in first-team activities. Ten Hag doesn't appear to be willing to back down from his hardline approach either, but Barcelona could have competition as Roma are also reportedly interested in the 23-year-old. Another Man United player that Barca are looking at is Anthony Martial, who has struggled to find meaningful minutes, even despite issues being faced in Ten Hag's squad. Martial, 27, has a contract that expires in the summer. Matthijs de Ligt is also being considered by Barcelona, as the 24-year-old centre-back has openly complained about his lack of playing time at Bayern Munich. He's been given just 82 minutes by manager Thomas Tuchel in the Bundesliga this term. Arsenal midfielder Jorginho is also being looked at. The 31-year-old only joined in January, but his contract is currently set to end in the summer of 2024. Meanwhile, a shock move for versatile forward and midfielder Kai Havertz, who only joined the Gunners this summer for £65 million, but has already been the topic of frustration. The Blaugrana are also among the plethora of clubs that will be working to negotiate with 21-year-old forward Nico Williams if Athletic Club don't agree a renewal on his current deal, which is set to end this summer. September's ESPN FC Hot List. Check out the next big thing in the ESPN FC Hot List, which each month highlights some of the most informed talent aged 23 or under across Europe. Orlando City to hire Tite? Brazilian coach Tite is considering coaching Orlando City next season, according to Globo. Tite is the main candidate to replace the departed Jorge Sampaoli at Flamengo, but Orlando City have shown an interest in acquiring his services once the MLS regular season ends on October 21st. The veteran tactician has been without a job since stepping down as Brazil coach after the 2022 World Cup. Since then, Tite, 62, has been busy learning English and reportedly turned down offers to guide Saudi Pro League sides Al Nassr and Al Hilal after becoming a free agent in December. Orlando City have been coached by Colombian Oscar Pareja since December 2019. Dortmund keen on Jimenez. Bild says that Borussia Dortmund are monitoring Feyenoord striker Santiago Jimenez. Jimenez, 22, has 9 goals in 6 Eredivisie games so far, and the Mexico international is also being tracked by Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham. Dortmund are looking at a new forward with Liverpool reportedly considering the signing of Daniel Malin. But Jimenez's contract doesn't expire until 2027, so he won't come cheap. Lewandowski linked with Saudi Arabia again. Barcelona striker Robert Lewandowski continues to be linked with a move to Saudi Arabia despite the closing of the transfer market. According to Sport, ABBA Club are one of the sides in the Saudi Pro League that are keen to sign the Poland international. ABBA midfielder Saad Gir acknowledged that the striker would be the ideal signing for the club. "We need top players like Lewandowski," Gir said. "That's the kind of signing we should make if possible." Lewandowski, 35, shut the door on a move to the Middle East in the summer, instead preferring to stay at Barca, who he joined from Bayern Munich for €45 million in 2022. He has made a good start to the campaign, scoring 6 times in his last 5 starts for the Blaugrana and setting up 3 more goals. Man United, Barca track Vermeeren. Royal Antwerp midfielder Arthur Vermeeren is being watched by Barcelona and Man United, according to Mundo Deportivo. Vermeeren, 18, has been compared to Andres Iniesta in style and has impressed at the Belgian champions since his first-team breakthrough last season with 2 assists from his 12 games so far. Barca a new deal for de Jong. Barcelona sporting director Deco has touched base with Frenkie de Jong over signing a new contract with the club, according to Mundo Deportivo. Relations were strained between Barca and de Jong's camp last summer when the Catalan club discussed a potential transfer with Manchester United. However, with the Dutch midfielder in good form, despite a recent injury, Barca are keen to extend his contract beyond 2026. Deco has explained to de Jong that the reason for wanting to renew his deal has nothing to do with making more space within their La Liga-imposed spending limit. Barca recently renewed Marc-Andre ter Stegen's deal, with the goalkeeper accepting a lower salary in the coming years to enable the club to have more money to register players this season. Mundo Deportivo say the conversation between Deco and de Jong was positive, with the sporting director explaining the extension was based on sporting merit, but there have not yet been any official negotiations with the players' representatives. Chelsea want a striker. Chelsea have spent over £1 billion in 3 windows, so it's no surprise to see them linked with more new arrivals. Football Insider comes up with the claim that the Blues want to bring in a new striker in January, though no names are listed. Under Mauricio Pochettino, the club have picked up just 5 points from 18 in the Premier League this term, scoring 5 goals. Summer signing Christopher Nkunku is injured, while Nicholas Jackson has struggled with 2 goals in 8 games up front, so another striker, possibly Napoli's Victor Osimhen, would fit in nicely. Neville wanted Ronaldo to stay at Man United. Manchester United legend Gary Neville has given an interview with Marca and said he wishes former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo's second spell at the club had not ended as it did. Ronaldo left the Red Devils in November 2022 by mutual consent after his explosive interview with Piers Morgan, in which he criticized United and manager Erik ten Hag. "I wish it hadn't ended like that," Neville said. "I wish he had stayed, and they had found a way to cope with each other until the end of the season. But it became impossible once he did the interview with Piers Morgan. It was so public at the time that there was only one outcome." Neville was very critical of Ronaldo and his lack of proactive leadership during his last stint at Old Trafford. "I love Cristiano, he probably doesn't love me for what I said," he said. "But I would like to think that in 5 to 10 years he will understand that my comments came from a good place. I wanted him to understand that when you get to 35, 36, the younger players in the locker room and the less talented players rely on you to take them with you, that there are different ways to be a mentor, a coach and a father in some ways. He is still my favorite player of all time and the one I like the most when I talk about who is the greatest of all time. I know that many people would say Lionel Messi, but I love Cristiano." Juve keen on Højbjerg. Juventus are monitoring Tottenham midfielder Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, according to Calciomercato. Juve are looking to strengthen their midfield in the January transfer window after losing Paul Pogba, who was temporarily suspended after a failed doping test. Højbjerg, 28, reportedly wanted to leave Spurs in the summer with several clubs, included Atletico Madrid, interested in his services. The Denmark international, who is under contract with Tottenham until June 2025, has played 79 minutes in 5 Premier League appearances so far this season. Spurs will only consider offers in the region of €30 million for Højbjerg, which is an obstacle for Juve. Juve are prepared to take Højbjerg on a 6-month loan in January with the hope of signing the player on a permanent transfer for a lower fee in the summer. Mourinho laments worst start of my career. Roma coach Jose Mourinho declared after Thursday's 4-1 defeat at Genoa that he is experiencing the worst start to a season as manager. Roma are 16th in the Serie A standings with 1 win and 3 losses in 6 league games. They have the 3rd worst defense in the league, with 11 goals conceded. Mourinho, who joined Roma in the summer of 2021, said, "It's also the worst start of my career, but I think it was also the first time in Roma's history that we played 2 European finals in a row before last season." Mourinho, who has guided Chelsea, Real Madrid, Tottenham and Manchester United in his career, is convinced his team can turn things around. "It's the group we have, and it's with this group that we have to get out of it," he said. "There is no other story, there is no market, no one comes in, no one leaves, it is the squad we have with its qualities and its problems. We have to move forward, there is no time to cry. You can cry internally because it hurts your heart, also because of my relationship with Roma fans it affects me even more, because it is not a personal issue but also a general one that makes me feel this way. But tomorrow we are there working, the next game, at home to Frosinone on Sunday, will be 3 points, not 6 or 8. But it becomes a very important game for us." Chelsea open to Marc Cucurella January transfer, sources. Chelsea are willing to listen to offers for defender Marc Cucurella ahead of a possible January transfer move, sources have told ESPN. The £62 million signing from Brighton made his second appearance of the season in Wednesday's 1-0 Carabao Cup fourth-round win against his former club, but is yet to play a single Premier League minute since Mauricio Pochettino became head coach in July. Cucurella told ESPN as part of an exclusive interview in July that he wanted to stay at the club and fight for his place, but a lack of regular minutes in the coming months will likely force a rethink. Chelsea were ready to allow the 25-year-old to join Manchester United on loan this summer, but the deal collapsed after Cucurella played in the club's previous Carabao Cup tie against AFC Wimbledon. FIFA regulations stipulate that a player cannot represent 3 clubs in a single season, and given United wanted to insert a break clause in any deal to allow them to return Cucurella to Chelsea. Talks broke down. Reports in Spain have linked Real Madrid with a possible loan bid in January, and the prospect of returning to the country of his birth is thought to appeal to Cucurella. United are unlikely to re-enter the running given they signed Sergio Reguilón on loan from Tottenham after switching their attentions from Cucurella. Paper Talk by Danny Lewis. Manchester United and Chelsea scouts have recently tracked Flamengo attacking midfielder Lauren, as reported by Fabrizio Romano. The 17-year-old has made 4 first-team appearances but already has a release clause of €50 million and recently signed with Jay-Z's agency. Rock Nation. West Ham United, Napoli, Juventus and clubs from the Bundesliga are all keeping an eye on Udinese midfielder Lazar Samardžić, reports Calciomercato. Despite Udinese being in a concerning situation with just 3 points from 6 Serie A matches this term, owner Gianpaolo Pozzo would be willing to negotiate in January if a suitable offer comes in for the 21-year-old. Juventus are looking at Shakhtar Donetsk's 21-year-old attacking midfielder Yuri Sudakov as they continue to search for somebody to fill the space left by Angel Di Maria, reports La Gazzetta dello Sport. They are aware of competition, so will keep considering Domenico Berardi after they had negotiations with Sassuolo regarding the 29-year-old in August. Monza have completed a deal to bring in free agent Papu Gomez, who has been without a club since leaving Sevilla, reports Sky Sports Italia. The 35-year-old is expected to arrive on Friday morning, with Monza having made the move following Gianluca Caprari's cruciate injury. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.